Saint Rose of Lima was born in the late 1500s, and despite living a largely misunderstood life, she showed quiet strength and confidence in herself. She is the first canonized saint of the Americas. She has one characteristic of all saints, the suffering of opposition, and another characteristic which is more for admiration than for imitation, an excessive practice of mortification. She was born to parents of Spanish descent in Lima, Peru, at a time when South America was in its first century of evangelization. She seems to have taken Saint Catherine of Siena as a model, in spite of the objections and ridicule of parents and friends. The saints have so great a love of God that what seems bizarre to us, and indeed sometimes imprudent, is simply a logical carrying out of a conviction that anything that might endanger a loving relationship with God must be rooted out. So, because she was very beautiful and her beauty was very often admired, Saint Rose of Lima used to rub her face with pepper to produce small disfiguring blotches. Later, she wore a thick circlet of silver on her head, studded on the inside, like a crown of thorns. When her parents fell into financial trouble, she worked in a garden all day and then sewed at night to help them make ends meet. 10 years of struggle against her parents began when they tried to make Rose marry. They refused to let her enter a convent, and out of obedience, she continued her life of penance and solitude at home as a member of the Third Order of Saint Dominic. So deep was her desire to live the life of Christ that she spent most of her time at home alone praying. During the last few years of her life, Rose set up a room in the house where she cared for homeless children, the elderly, and the sick. This was part of the beginning of social services in Peru. What might have been a merely eccentric life was transfigured from the inside. If we remember some unusual penances, we should also remember the greatest thing about Saint Rose of Lima, a love of God that was so ardent that it withstood ridicule from without, violent temptations, and lengthy periods of sickness. When she died at the age of 31, the entire city came for her funeral. Saint Rose of Lima is an example to us of pursuing what is good, despite any opposition. She gives us a powerful example of loving the least in society and of replacing comfort with self-discipline. Saint Rose of Lima, pray for us.